You're standing in a workshop 3,000 years ago. The air is thick with smoke. Your eyes sting. Your hands are black with soot. In front of you, buried in the coals, something strange is happening. The rock you threw in wasn't supposed to melt. It wasn't supposed to change at all. But when you pull it out, it's different. Heavier. Harder. Almost alive. You don't know it yet, but you're holding the metal that's about to end an age, start a new one, and reshape how humans fight, farm, and survive. You're holding iron.
And humans didn't invent this on purpose. You stumbled into it. Twice. Here's what you're up against before the story even starts. Iron needs less than half that. Iron ore is almost everywhere on Earth. Tin, the metal you need for bronze, is almost nowhere. And the first iron humans ever touched didn't come from the ground at all. It fell from the sky.
The metal from the stars. Long before anyone smelted iron, you were already wearing it. Archaeologists have found iron beads in Egyptian graves dating back over 5,000 years. Tests on those beads show something remarkable. The iron inside them came from meteorites, space rocks, fallen stars, metal that had never touched a furnace. You didn't have the technology to extract iron from ordinary rock yet, but when a glowing stone fell from the sky and you noticed it was harder than anything you'd ever held, you kept it. The ancient Egyptians called it black copper from heaven. The Hittites, a powerful civilization in what's now Turkey, prized meteoric iron so highly that kings gave it as gifts to other kings.
One dagger found in Tutankhamun's tomb was made from meteoric iron. Modern chemical analysis confirmed it. A blade from a teenage pharaoh, forged from a star. But meteorites are rare. You can't build an empire on rocks that fall from space once in a generation. So for a long time, iron stayed a curiosity, a luxury, a gift for gods and kings. The real discovery was still coming. And it happened by accident.
The fire that went too hot. You're a bronze worker. Your job is copper and tin, melted together, poured into molds. Your furnace burns hot, but not hot enough to touch iron. At least, that's what you think. Then, one day, something changes. Maybe your furnace design improves. Maybe you pack in more charcoal than usual. Maybe the wind through your bellows pushes the fire past 1,200 degrees for the first time.
And in the ash, sitting in a lump you almost throw away, is a strange, spongy mass. Historians call it a bloom. It's not liquid iron. It's a rough, porous clump mixed with slag and impurities. You don't understand the chemistry. You don't need to. You just notice that when you hammer that lump again and again, driving out the waste and folding the metal in on itself, something new comes out the other side. Something that holds an edge better than bronze ever did.
This didn't happen in one place. Evidence of early iron smelting shows up in Anatolia and separately in parts of Africa, on timelines that some researchers now think may be even older than the Hittite tradition. Humans in different corners of the world were stumbling onto the same accident. Fire, pushed just a little too far, cracking open a metal that had been hiding in plain sight the whole time.
Now you understand the process. Or your civilization does. If you lived in the Hittite Empire around 1300 BCE, you had something no one else had. A working iron industry. And you protected it like a weapon, because it was one. Hittite kings wrote letters to neighboring rulers, controlling exactly how much iron left their borders, and to whom. One surviving letter has a Hittite king telling the Assyrian king that iron production is limited and only a small amount can be sent, for now. Think about what that means for you, standing inside that empire. You're not just holding a better tool, you're holding geopolitical leverage. Ironworking is classified information. Losing that secret could tip the balance of power across the entire region.
The collapse that set iron free. Around 1200 BCE, something catastrophic sweeps across the eastern Mediterranean. Historians call it the Late Bronze Age collapse. Major civilizations fall within decades of each other. The Hittite Empire disintegrates. Trade networks that had carried tin for 1,000 years break down and never fully recover. Now, put yourself in the sandals of a bronze smith after the collapse. Your bronze needs tin. Your tin came through trade routes that no longer exist. Ships aren't sailing. Merchants aren't showing up. Whole kingdoms that used to supply you have burned or vanished. You have a workshop and no way to make bronze anymore. But iron ore is sitting in the hills near your home. It always was. You just never needed it before. So smiths across the region turn to iron, not because it's better at first, but because it's available. Necessity does what curiosity couldn't. Within a few generations, smiths improved their techniques. They learned to add carbon to iron through repeated heating and hammering, creating an early form of steel. Iron tools stop being a backup plan and start outperforming bronze completely. The Iron Age has begun. Not from a moment of triumph, from a moment of collapse.
You didn't discover iron because you were looking for it. You discovered it because a rock fell from the sky, because a fire burned hotter than it was supposed to, because an empire collapsed and desperate people reached for whatever was left in the ground beneath their feet. Iron didn't come from genius. It came from accident, secrecy, collapse, and necessity, stacked on top of each other across 1,000 years.
And maybe that's the real pattern behind almost everything humans have ever built. Not a moment of pure invention. A slow, stumbling walk through fire, failure, and one hammer strike after another, until something stronger than anything before it finally came out the other side.